and people will join in along the way. So welcome to the what's being called the Social and Citizen Media Summit for Digital Empowerment. This is, I mean, if you've
The map of the land, Dharini and Naksha. This is a WebGIS based system. We have put all our land records in the public domain. When I mean land records, I mean both the ROR as well as the maps, and they are all real-time updated, integrated, and digitally signed. I would like to make it clear there is no seal. And this is anytime, anywhere, and you can view it, you can extract it, and also you can print it. Next. Now the uniqueness. Now the real-time, updated, integrated, digitally signed record is the real uniqueness. I know we are aware that many states, including Himachal, have done various levels of achievement, but I think this is only one of its kind. And we have got a legal framework to back this digitally signed signature with a verification mechanism. We have amended the laws of Goa, and we have got a verification mechanism for anybody who wants to use these records, either in a financial institution or either in a court of law or maybe in any other government department. And it's a multiple service options we have given. One can go for a digitally signed copy. You can ask for a certified copy to be taken at the office, or you can even ask for a copy to be delivered postally. And it's a highly sustainable model. It's all 100% online transactions. Nothing is manual, and it's an indigenous application with a core GIS engine, and it is developed by Goa Electronics Limited. Next. Impact. We have reduced the departmental operational staff. The interface is minimal now. There are cost savings. There's reduction in time. It's an easy mechanism to settle, because online people are seeing their maps, their names, and they're coming up with various problems which they deal online, and we give responses also online. And there's a reduction in legal in the sense that here is a system where you can check whether your land you're buying, the title is correct, the boundaries are correct, the classifications are correct, and then the person interested to buy the property can go and buy it. And that way it prevents kind of scams, legal scams or frauds. We'll show that later. Our website has witnessed over 1 lakh land parcel extraction so far. We've got 5,000 registered users, and the paid instructions are just about 5%. That means that people are happy to view their RORs and extract and be happy with it. And about 25% of the visitors are all the Goan diaspora who are staying abroad. Many of them are from USA, Australia, UK. So I just sum up this impact in the Goan spirit. I hope you understand what I mean by spirit. So here was a gentleman from the Miami, USA, who rang me up. He said, "Mr. Director, I'm a big landowner in Goa, and I've migrated to the US. And ever since I migrated to the US, I've had no peace of mind. Reason is that I'm afraid that somebody will steal my property. And even after drinking a bottle of Feni, it does not help to soothe his jumpy nerves. Now after Dharnaksh, he says that he sits before the computer every day. He just has to have a glass of Feni, and he sees his property, his name, safe and secure, and then he finishes his drink, and then he goes to a peaceful sleep. And the remarkable thing is that he said, I don't have to spend a penny, Mr. Director. So I said, thank you very much, and I'm also very happy that Dharnaksh is as intoxicating as Feni. So this is the roadmap. We are into georeferencing now. We want to go from local to global coordinates. We want to also generate an alert mechanism now, where any changes in the property, the owner becomes alert by way of this SMS mechanism. And we also want to do Aadhaar seeding of all property owners so that we can have some kind of uniqueness to it. Next. Thank you very much.
Just one final word. Our work has already received the Geospatial World Forum Award for Application Excellence in 2013. This was received by director in Rotterdam in May, and we have also been informed that we are being awarded the National Award for Excellence in E-Governance for the year 2013. The award ceremony will be held on December 14th in Visakhapatnam.
What is the law which permitted digital to be used?
We are going under the IT Act. And also the local law, because the local law earlier only recognized the certified copy. As Himachal was saying, it means that you need to have a certificate, or you have the seal of that particular what you call him as Patwari. We call him Talati. So here, now we have given a change in the law saying that a digitally signed copy is acceptable legally in the eyes of which we believe that nobody has done it so far.
So I wanted to ask a question coming back to the presentation that was made earlier on. We wanting to hold a copy of land records in our hand as opposed to what you're saying is what's available online. Is that a difference? Do you attribute that to a cultural difference, or is it because of the trustworthiness of the data, or what? Why is such a big difference between?
Because northern India and southern India, there is a difference. Cultural difference. That's a cultural difference.
Culture in the sense that, see, I still find a couple of people in Goa also, I mean the elderly who come to my office, they still believe in taking that certified copy.
What I'm saying,
but that's why I'm saying I've given them that option. The lady says that I love to come to the fish market and then come to your office and then take the certified copy. Yeah, I can't stop you from doing it. But then the other savvy people and all, and then those who go to the Seva Kendras and all, they kind of avail this facility.
I think that's a question of usage also. Today the Indian Railways will take this, but still people want to have a physical ticket.
But let me tell you, madam,
come down and pick up it also. I think
the example I gave you just now of this gentleman, it's really happening because the Goan diaspora, so we got about 2.5 to 3 lakh people, and really now see, because Goa is changing so much. I mean the land values and all have just shot up, skyrocketed. So every inch of land has become so precious that we have even all sorts of things happening in Goa, and you need to be really careful of scams and frauds. So what this gentleman was conveying to me was really a very genuine concern, and he's really benefited by this. And so are so many others who are big landowners who are all staying in different parts of the world. Okay, thank you.
separately we can invite them for some CSR benefit perhaps.
Or to create a marketplace for buying and selling land. Because it's verified anyway.
Well, this is a mechanism to verify whether the land you're buying belongs to the real owner and the boundaries of the property and so on and so forth. It's been helpful in that. Because I understand that there are frauds also because you buy from bogus owners and all that.
But it is not linked with the registration process.
We are linked separately to registration process. We have got a separate system where when the registration happens, it triggers a mutation, it happens and online it goes. All this is happening. Here what happens is that here the ROR changes. Once the mutation has happened, ROR gets dynamically reflected on this. That's why I'm saying real time. Even a map, for example.
But are you taking the base data seller from land?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vadam.
People who don't understand. That was my suggestion that when we say social media, it's inclusive media. Let's not try to be exclusive.
So I'm open to ideas there. I mean, the highest common factor seems to be English as such here, by and large.
I mean, mixed language. We are happy to
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
I suspect most people would be ending up naturally speaking in English, but if there are specific points that involve, I think you could help point out those things, and we could try and discuss those in Hindi perhaps. Okay. I'm not very good with Hindi myself, but I can make a stab at it. But I'm sure tons of other people here are far better. So that's one point. That's a good point, sure. Anybody else? Any ideas on how you'd like to go about this? Anything would any of the judges like to point out anything they noticed from yesterday? Yes, go ahead.
Actually, we are working in the very grassroots level, and in Varanasi mainly with the silk weaving community and the carpet weaving community weavers, and with the women groups, and who are maximum they illiterate, but they are involved in their livelihood program. So actually we are not very much familiar with the social media. Definitely we can say that before 2-3 years when we come to in the Manthan Award program and interacted with the people, so we have also developed our own organizational website before 4 years. And I was scientist in Banaras University up to 1993 in the environmental science, and worked on the Ganga Action Plan. And in 93 I leave my job from the university and joined the NGO sector. And from 93 onward we are working in this sector. So how we can use in a very effective manner, like we have talked to the people from the Bhopal about the use of the cell phone as a radio. So definitely we are planning to start in our area. So how we can use first? The second thing, definitely the problem, the women are involved nowadays in the literacy program. So how the women at the grassroots level can be much benefited in their own language, Hindi language, because maximum nowadays the maximum government schemes in online, every scheme is going through the online, the advertisement and everything, and the political parties are using the social media. So how the rural community will be benefited? So it is our request to you. You all are the expert in this field. So how we can?
Okay, good point. And I think just to extend that first question a little bit, I think we've seen enormous adoption of social media by companies, by corporate India. A lot of that, most of the successful case studies are pretty structured. They're structured in the sense they're either outsourced to an agency, and that doesn't automatically mean you get great social media. Some of them are absolute failures in terms of what they accomplished. But if you look at some of the great, if you take a look at the successful, I don't know if you have any names of successful companies. Cleartrip, for example, has been doing a pretty good job with social media. Airtel struggled for years with it, and now they're finally getting to grips with it. So many companies are simply in a read-only mode where they are simply reading, scanning social media. Next stage they get to is they find, okay, let's search for our own company name and see what people are saying. If somebody is saying there's an enormous problem with, with Airtel connection or a Cleartrip booking or whatever, let's step in and solve that problem if we can. Third step would be positive engagement, where they actually build up a following and things like that. So a lot of this, most of the case studies I've seen are either outsourced, which means there's a professional agency which charges possibly lakhs a month doing it, or it's hiring a professional. And even in those cases, I mean, for instance, companies like Philips, and they have social media experts inside. Okay, so very often, so in the case of Philips, for example, they've hired an HR professional who's actually a social media, who has a very strong social media presence. Like that, there are others who've hired full-scale, digital experts or consultants or editors or something like that. So I think the interesting question is for the NGO sector, which is the way to go, because very clearly most of them will not be able to afford professional external agencies, communications agencies and professionals. Are there, for example, organizations which are working in this sector who are actually offering such services at maybe a lower cost? Because all of it doesn't have to be, there's a lot of baseline expertise which you can actually encapsulate and sell. There's a lot of stuff you can package and offer as a package, which is a lot of it is in software, and there's of course guidelines, rules, there's some training and things like that. But I'm just wondering, are there people at all who are working in the sector for everybody just introduce yourself. So I forgot to do that, but so in case you haven't read the list of speakers, I'm supposed to be the moderator, and I'm Prashanto Roy. I'm a technology analyst, writer. I dabble a lot in green and green buildings, and so I've been speaking more about those than on technology in the last, but I also write on and comment on social media.
Hi everybody, I'm Kapil Gupta. I am CEO of OM Logic. We are a social media agency, and we do a lot of citizen evangelism and social activation campaigns. To answer your question about in the NGO space, how do you do it? There are three different aspects that I would like to kind of mention in this. One aspect is absolutely, I don't think it is possible for the NGO segment to hire agencies like us. You rightly said we charge lakhs of rupees a month, and it's not even a question of whether they can afford us or not. I think it doesn't even make sense for them to afford us, because they are not brands who would require the controlled structured environment for doing social media as the brands do. However, what needs to be done is one of three things. Either in the NGO segment, they need to look at agencies who don't do implementation services for them, because these people are working at grassroots level. They don't require somebody who will write a Facebook post for them, or write a tweet for them, or monitor the Facebook page for them and stuff like that. They would require people who can consult them on how to leverage social media. So they should be looking at agencies more as consultants versus as implementers of social media. That's one aspect. The other aspect that I would like to mention is, divide social media in two parts. So when you looked at the social media empowerment projects yesterday, divide them in two parts. One part is the projects which are primarily on-ground activations and are looking at social media as an avenue to promote what they are doing. And the second is, there were projects which are primarily social projects on social media itself. And those projects are becoming communication mechanisms. Now, what I would like to see come out of this kind of an initiative, this kind of an area, is for these two to start working together. So we saw Youth Ki Awaaz